Today's lesson is Pop History, the development of carbonated drinks. Hi, everybody. My name is Roger.
Hello, everybody. I am Shane.
And today we're going to be talking about a carbonated drink. I don't suppose you're a fan of drinking pop or soda?
Yeah, well, I would say soda. At least that's what we say in Los Angeles. And I probably drink more than I should. I'm a big fan of Diet Coke. And I could probably drink a 2-liter bottle in a day.
Ooh, not good for your liver there, so be careful there. But indeed, yeah. Well, you say soda because you're from one of the coasts. I think they say soda like in New York and in California. But where I'm from, we grew up saying pop, although you kind of have to know who you're talking to in order to know what word to use. But we are talking about the history of pop today, or the history of soda, carbonated drinks.
Or you could say soda pop.
You could say those two words together, indeed, and everybody would understand what you mean. Although I understand if you go down to Texas, they say Coke for everything. Sprite or orange soda could be Coke. They use that word for everything.
Yeah, it just kind of covers everything.
Let's begin our lesson now by listening to the first part, and we'll be right back to discuss it.
Pop history, the development of carbonated drinks. Carbonated drinks, commonly known as soda or pop, are consumed by billions of people around the world every day. These fizzy drinks have a fascinating history that dates back centuries.
大家好，第一部分介绍动词 consume， 意思是吃、喝、饮用，也可以是消耗的意思。例如 Big dogs can consume a lot of meat in a day. 大型犬一天可以吃掉很多肉。或者 Jenny consumes around 5 novels a month. Jenny 一个月大约阅读5本小说。下一个看到形容词 fizzy， 表示起泡的或是嘶嘶作响的。例如 William enjoys a fizzy drink on a hot day. William 喜欢在炎热的日子里喝一杯气泡饮料。或是I love the fizzy sensation on my tongue when I drink sparkling water. 我喜欢喝气泡水时，舌头上那种嘶嘶作响的感觉。
Okay, everybody, it's time for us to talk about the first part, and we're going to introduce our topic for today. Again, we're talking about carbonated drinks. Okay, if something's carbonated, as it says in the title here, it has carbon in the drink. Basically, it means it's a fizzy drink like Coke or Sprite or 7-Up or Dr. Pepper or whatever you like to drink. And yes, we're talking about the history of pop or the history of soda.
Okay, so why don't we start off by taking a look at the first sentence. Carbonated drinks, commonly known as soda or pop, are consumed by billions of people around the world every day. Now, when we say consumed, to consume something means to eat or drink something. It's just a fancy way of saying eat or drink. And it's by billions of people around the world. That's a lot of carbonated drinks.
Indeed. And to consume is the present tense, and here consumed is the past tense. And these fizzy drinks have a fascinating history that dates back centuries. Okay, so here we've got the word fizzy, which means it has bubbles in it. And some people can drink fizzy drinks, other people really can't. I had a friend back in high school who just did not drink soda at all because it's too fizzy. He said it hurt his throat, so I suppose fizzy drinks aren't for everybody.
Well, yeah, I've yet to come across somebody who doesn't enjoy a fizzy drink. It says that they have a fascinating history. Now, when we say something is fascinating, we just mean that it is extremely interesting and or attractive. So the history is quite interesting, which we are going to come to find out.
Right. For example, I'm now reading a very fascinating book about World War II. It's very interesting. I want to read more. It is very interesting, and I want to learn more and more about the subject. So this history is interesting, and lots of people want to know more and more about the history of carbonated drinks that dates back centuries, which means it goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. It's been around for that long.
Right. A century means 100 years. And when we say something is fascinating, we mean it's extremely interesting. So you could say, for example, I found the game last night really fascinating.
And hopefully this lesson is fascinating for all of you so that you pay attention and learn some more about the history of soda. Let's move on now to the next part of our lesson. We will listen to it first.
One of the first carbonated drinks was carbonated water, which is believed to have been invented by an English chemist named Joseph Priestley in 1767. Priestley recognized the gas produced by a local brewery as the same gas that causes bubbles to form in certain natural spring waters. In his experiments, Priestley obtained this gas, carbon dioxide, through a chemical reaction. He then dissolved the collected gas into a bowl of water, which created carbonated water.
第二部分看到名词 brewery， 意思是啤酒厂或是啤酒公司。例如 The brewery offers tours where visitors can see how beer is made. 这家啤酒厂提供参观，游客可以看到啤酒是如何酿造的。再来介绍动词 obtain， 表示获得或是得到。可以说 You need to obtain permission before you can enter the room. 你需要获得许可才能进入那间房间。又或者说Marcia is worried that she'll be unable to obtain a passport in time for her trip. Marcia 担心她无法及时为她的旅行取得护照。继续看到动词 dissolve， 它是使溶解的意思。例如 The sugar began to dissolve instantly when stirred into the hot coffee. 糖一搅入热咖啡，随即开始溶解。再举一个例子 Brian dissolved the medicine in a glass of water. Brian 把药放在一杯水里溶解。
Okay, it's time for us to dive right in and talk about the second part of our lesson. It begins by saying one of the first carbonated drinks was carbonated water, which is believed to have been invented by an English chemist named Joseph Priestley in 1767. I suppose you didn't know about this there, Shane. Have you ever heard of this guy, Joseph Priestley, before?
You know, I have not heard of him until today. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting, though, that it goes back all the way to 1767. Now, he was an English chemist, so a chemist is just somebody who studies chemistry. So it looks like he was probably doing some kind of an experiment and stumbled across a way to make carbonated drinks.
That's how things are often discovered. They kind of stumble across them. They kind of discover them by accident.
Right.
And yes, it says here that this is believed to have invented by this person named Joseph Priestley. That's what people think. We don't know 100% for sure because that happened a long time ago, but most people think that this chemist invented carbonated drinks, which of course have carbon dioxide in the drinks and they're fizzy.
That's what makes them bubbly.
It makes them bubbly and lots of fun.
That gas, carbon dioxide.
Absolutely.
Gas, or CO2.
There you go, carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
And moving on to the next sentence here, it says, Priestley recognized the gas produced by a local brewery as the same gas that causes bubbles to form in certain natural spring waters. Okay, so a brewery, that's a place where you make beer, right?
Right. Yeah. So you make beer in a brewery. And as we know, beer is also a fizzy drink. Often has some carbonation in it. And it said here that it came from natural spring waters that cause the bubbles to form in certain natural spring waters. So kind of seeing that these bubbles occur naturally as well.
Right, so a spring, of course, is water coming out of the earth, and spring water is water that comes out of that spring. And yes, indeed, he noticed that there were bubbles forming in that spring water, and in his experiments, Priestley obtained this gas, carbon dioxide, through a chemical reaction. So he was curious, he wanted to figure out what this was all about, so he obtained this gas by a chemical reaction. If you obtain something, you get it, you figure out a way to make it yours.
Right, especially by making a little bit of effort, right? So he was doing his job and he obtained this gas, carbon dioxide. He then dissolved the collected gas into a bowl of water, which created carbonated water. So if you dissolve something into something, you're taking that and you mix something in with a liquid to make that become part of the liquid. So in this case, he's taking this carbon dioxide and he's mixing it into the water. It's dissolving into the water.
Right. So you put something in the liquid and then you stir it around and then that thing is in the water or in the liquid, but you can't really see it. For example, you could take salt and stir it into warm water and the salt will dissolve and then you can use the salt water to clean or to gargle or whatever.
Or to make pasta.
I guess you boil the noodles in the salted water, right?
They do recommend to add a little bit of salt in there.
Yeah, I guess I forgot to do that last time I cooked pasta. I forgot to put the salt in. I guess you're supposed to put a little bit of salt.
Just a pinch.
Yeah, you put a pinch of salt in the water and it dissolves in the water. And in this particular case, he collected this gas and he dissolved it into a bowl of water and that created carbonated water. It was fizzy water. I suppose you could drink it, but it would be rather plain tasting.
Right, yeah, it would be relatively tasteless.
Okay, that brings us to the end of the second part of our lesson for today. Let's move on to the third part and find out more about carbonated water and soda pop.
Priestley called his creation soda water, and it quickly became very popular. Soon after its creation, in 1783, Johann Jakob Schwepp commercialized carbonated water by founding the Schweppes Company, which still exists today. Schwepp used more advanced carbonation techniques and made soda water widely accessible. During the 19th century, various syrups started being added to soda water to improve the taste. The resulting sodas came in flavors such as pineapple, black cherry, and pear. This innovation laid the foundation for today's popular soda brands such as Coca-Cola and Pepsi.
第三部分介绍名词 creation， 指的是创作物、作品，同时也可以是创造或是创立的意思。举例来说 ，The artist's creation was put on display in the museum。这位艺术家的作品在博物馆展出，或是 The creation of the new highway has improved transportation greatly。新高速公路的建立已大大改善交通。再来看到形容词 accessible， 表示可得到的、使用的。也可以是可进入的，例如 The airport lounge is accessible only to members。 那个机场休息室只有会员才能使用。也可以说 The shop installed a ramp to make it accessible to people in wheelchairs。 这间店设置了斜坡道，让轮椅人士得以进入。最后看到名词 innovation， 表示创新、革新，也可以是新事物或是新方法的意思。可以说Our company values creativity and innovation more than anything else。 我们公司重视创造力和创新，胜于其他一切。最后一个例子 Steve Jobs was at the forefront of modern technological innovation。 Steve Jobs 是现代创新科技的先驱。
Okay, again, we're talking about this English chemist by the name of Joseph Priestley, and people believe that he invented soda water or carbonated drinks way back in 1767, which I believe is before when the American Revolution took place.
Right.
And again, he figured out how to work with some chemical from a local brewery. Then he obtained this gas and dissolved it into a bowl of water, and he had carbonated water.
And voila, carbonated water.
As a result, okay, right. So here in the final part it says, Priestley called his creation soda water, and it quickly became very popular. So a creation is something that you make. It could be all sorts of things. A musician could call his songs his creations, or you could talk about artworks as being your creation, something that you created, something that you made. So he called his invention or his creation soda water, and of course he introduced it to his friends, and by word of mouth people found out about this and they thought, wow, that's cool, bubbly water, let's drink some.
Right, because when you create something, you know, typically it's something that people have never seen before or never experienced before. So he has created something called soda water, and yeah, it became very popular. Soon after its creation, in 1783, Johann Jakob Schwepp commercialized carbonated water by founding the Schweppes Company. which still exists today. They're still around since 1783. Now, that's quite a while.
Indeed, and so, of course, he commercialized it, which means he figured out a way to sell it and make money. You could actually buy it. And so he founded or set up the Schweppes Company, and that company still exists today. Yes, when I hear the word Schweppes, I think of carbonated water, which can be used to make cocktails and things like that.
Yeah, I actually had a Schweppes drink not that long ago, a ginger ale. So it was a sparkly ginger drink, which was quite tasty. So yeah, they're still around, and now it's highly commercialized. We can find Schweppes drinks in your local supermarkets, so it's still around today.
That's right. You can still buy it. It is around today, and it says Schweppes used more advanced carbonation techniques and made soda water widely accessible. So he improved on the techniques for carbonization, or making it fizzy. And later on, soda water was widely accessible. You could also say it was widely available. If something's accessible, people can get to it easily.
Right. It's easy to get. So let's take a look here at the final paragraph.
Okay, here in the final paragraph, it says, during the 19th century, various syrups started being added to soda water to improve the taste.
Right, yeah, it makes it a little bit more exciting. I think it's a bit boring on its own, just plain soda water. So adding a little bit of pizzazz to it is probably going to make everybody a little bit excited. So continuing on, the resulting sodas came in flavors such as pineapple, black cherry, and pear. Now, these are not really flavors we think of these days when we think about drinking soda or pop. Maybe black cherry, but I don't think I've ever had a pineapple pop or a pear pop. How about you?
No, I can't think of it, but I could imagine if you added the syrup to soda water, you could get a pineapple soda, or a black cherry soda, or a blueberry soda, or whatever. And, of course, there are other kinds of drinks besides Coke and Sprite. I remember when I was a kid, my favorite was cream soda.
Ooh, that's good.
I don't know if you've ever had that before. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I understand it's very sweet, though, so I don't drink it anymore. But these are some of the early examples of adding syrup to soda water, and you could get these different kinds of flavors. Now, this innovation laid the foundation for today's popular soda brands, such as Coca-Cola and Pepsi and Sprite and A&W Root Beer and Dr. Pepper or whatever. These kinds of soda are all over the place. And if you talk about an innovation, it's kind of a new idea that hasn't been done before. So they had soda water before, which is kind of fun. It's bubbly. It's kind of interesting to drink, but maybe kind of boring. So you can add these syrups to it, and that's an innovation, something new that hasn't been done before.
Right. Yeah. And it says they laid the foundation for today's popular soda brands. That just means that they were kind of like imagine you're building a building. If you build a building, you need to build it on something, a foundation, and then you build upon that. So this is kind of like the bottom level, and from there, they started making all kinds of drinks, including the very popular Coca-Cola and Pepsi.
Right, and you said you like to drink soda, so are you a big fan of Coca-Cola or Pepsi? Or which one do you like, Coke or Pepsi?
I'm a Diet Coke fanatic.
A Diet Coke freak, indeed. Well, back in the day, I used to drink Coke Zero, but I don't anymore. My wife said I can't have it anymore because I got some kidney problems.
Oh.
But yeah, you can't really have soda for certain medical conditions. But in any case, lots of other people do enjoy soda, and we'll continue talking about the history of soda pop in our next lesson. But right now, we're going to hear from our Chinese teacher, Hanny.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第二部分第一句写到 One of the first carbonated drinks was carbonated water, which is believed to have been invented by an English chemist named Joseph Priestley in 1767. 好，句子里面的 which 是用来代指前方的 carbonated water。那么 which 引导了关系子句来补充说明碳酸水据信是由英国化学家 Joseph Priestley 于1767年所发明。那这边我们是要介绍句型，用主词加上 be thought to 或者是 be believed to 再加原形动词。这样的句型是用被动语态来表达公 认或普遍的事实，表达一般认为怎么样，据信怎么样。例如 The castle is thought to be over 800 years old. 一般认为那座城堡有超过800年的历史。那特别注意，当这个句型当中的不定词，它所描述的动作事情时间发生的比主要子句还要早，那我们的不定词 to be 就要改成不定词完成式，变成 to have 加上过去分词 pp。 就像文中的用法，发明是发生于更早的动作，所以 believed 后方它是接 to have been invented 而不是接 to be invented。 我们也来造一个例句。 The castle is thought to have been built in the 12th century. 一般认为那座城堡建于12世纪。好，课文第3部分提到 The resulting sodas came in flavors such as pineapple, black cherry, and pear. 由此产生的苏打水有凤梨、黑樱桃和梨子等口味。句子里面用到 resulting， 它是形容词，来形容因而发生的或是作为结果的。那么 come in 在这边是表达有什么样的选择，以什么样的形式贩售，后面常常会接颜色、口味、尺寸、款式、种类等等的名词，去表达某物品有哪些不同种类样式可以选择。举例来说 The sweater comes in many different colors. 这款毛衣有许多不同颜色可以选。好，那这边也补充几个 come in 的其他用法。第一个可以表达传来，可能像是消息或资讯它传来被收到的语义。例如 The election results will come in soon. 选举结果很快就会传来。第二个我们可以用 come in 去表达获得第几名，这时候后面常会接叙述，像是 first, second 等等。那第三个 come in 可以表达发挥作用，派上用场。我们常会用 where somebody or something comes in 去表达某人事物派上用场的地方。举例来说 We need someone to offer a different perspective, and that's where you come in. 我们需要有人提供不同的观点，这正是你派上用场的地方。好，那么以上今天重点整理，我们来回顾今天单字吧。
Consume. It took Bill more than an hour to consume the large meal. Fascinating. We watched a fascinating film about the ocean last night. Obtain. Clara worked hard to obtain her degree in engineering. Dissolve. Be sure to stir the mixture until all the salt dissolves. Creation. The bakery is famous for unique cake creations that attract customers from all over. Accessible. All of the data is stored online, so it's accessible from anywhere. Innovation. The smartphone was an innovation that changed how we communicate.
Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Roger.
I am Shane.
See you next time.